Let us look at question 1 from the January 2024 CSEC mathematics paper. Let me copy this part. This part is work 2 marks at question 1A. Let's work it out over here. Now, it says you should express as a single fraction in its simplest form 1 minus 1/30th plus 4/15. The 1/30th and 4/15 are in brackets here, as you see. Now, here, you have to do what is in the bracket first. Now, you have 1/30th plus 4/15. What you can do is use common denominators. One denominator here is 30, the other denominator is 15. Here, let us have 1 over 30, as you see, plus something over 30. So you have common denominators, and see how it goes. Now this is 1 divided by 30 plus 4 divided by 15. What do you do to make 15 into 30? You multiply this by 2. But if you multiply the bottom by 2, you have to multiply the top by 2 as well. Multiply both numerator and denominators by 2. So what you get is 1/30th plus 4 2s is 8. So this will be 8/30th. Now look at this. 1/30th, means 1 multiplied by 1 out of 30. Alright? Plus 8/30th means 8 multiplied by 1 over 30. So you have 1 of this plus 8 of this. How many of them do you have now? 9 of them. So you have 9/30th. So it's 9 out of 30. See that? And of course you can simplify this. 9 is 3 multiplied by 3. 30 is 3 multiplied by 10. So this is going to be 3/3 plus times 3/10. 3 out of 3 is 1. So this is 1 by 3/10, which is 3/10. In exam, you would have to be putting all of these things like this, as I'm doing here in such detail. But this is for explanation purposes, right? Alright, so inside the bracket, it boils down to 3/10. So you have 1 minus 3/10, alright? Let's see how this part goes. 1 minus 3/10. 1, is written as a number. But any number you write down is really the number over 1. So it's 1 over 1. So let's make both of them fractions. So it's 1 out of 1. 1 over 1 minus 3 over 10. Alright. Common denominators again. Alright. So what you have here is something minus 3/10. You want something 10th minus 3/10. Okay. If you multiply the denominator by 10, multiply this by 10, you get something out of 10. What is it over 10? You must multiply the numerator by 10 as well. So it's 10/10. But it is 10/10 minus 3/10. If you have 10 of anything minus 3 of that same thing, you get, well, it will be 7. So it's 7/10. So you see that? So it all boils down to, in this case, 7/10. Alright. Now, let's just quickly review. Here, 1/30th plus 4/15. So you have 1/30th plus 415. That's the same as 1/30th plus 8/30th. So 8 and 1 is 9. So it's 9/30th. You can just say 3 into 3, 9, 3 into 30, 10. So it's 3/10. So you have 1 minus 3/10. 1 minus 3/10 is going to be the same as 10/10 minus 3/10. So in that case, you have 10/10 minus 3/10, which amounts to 7/10. Alright? Now let's look at part B of the question. Part B. Let's look at part B. Now, what it says here. Alright, let's copy it first and see what's going on here. It says a 2-story car park has a total of 1,020 parking spaces. At 6:30 hours, 06:30 hours, one morning, 1/30th of the 1,020 spaces are filled. Okay, good. During the next hour, no cars left the car park, but another 415 of the 1020 spaces are filled. Determine the number of parking spaces that are not filled by 7:30. All right, that's 7:30 hours. Now, here, 1/30th of the parking spaces are filled. So you need to find out what is 1/30th of 1020, and you will get a number. So in this case, 1/30 of 1020 is equal to, you use a calculator and say 1 divided by 30 equal times 1020, and what do you get? 34. What did you get with your calculator? Is it 34? Alright. Now, here, that's the number of parking spaces which are filled at that time. Now, during the next hour, no car left the car park, but another 415 are filled. Alright. What happened during the next hour? What's the number? 415 multiplied by 1020 is equal to, save time, you can use a calculator, but remember it's good to practice working these out without a calculator sometime. But during exam, of course, you use a calculator. 4 out of 15, and that multiplied by 1020 will give you 272. 272 spaces filled. Alright. So, here, this was at 06:30 hours. Then this is during the next hour. Now, determine the number that are not filled. Alright. Filled is going to be 34 plus 272. 34 plus 272 are filled. 4 and 2, 6, 3 and 7, 10. Bring down the 0, carry 1. 1, 0, 0 and 1, 3. 306. As you see here, are filled. So, how many are not filled? not filled, it's going to be 1020 minus 306. Right? So 1020 minus 306. When you work it out, what will you get? 714. Just to save time, it's 714. So the answer for this is 714, not filled. You see that? So that is what they ask you for in part B. Let's see the other part of the question. Of the 1020 parking spaces, 20% are on our top level. How many parking spaces are on the top level? Well, part C, 20% are on top level. So they're asking you how many are there on the top level. I pasted this thing, but I need to find it. Okay, good. Let me drag this part of the question down here, and we'll find out how many parking spaces are on the top level. So here now, 20% means 20, per means out of, cent means 100, right? Of means multiply. 20% of 1020 equal. Alright, so work that out. Work that out. Pass and work that out for me. What did you get? Alright, so this is 20 divided by 100, which is 2/10. Alright, and this is 1020 divided by 10, cancel, and we get 2 times 102, which is 2 2s, 4, 2 0 0, 2 1s, 2, 204. Remember the cancellation. What I did here was a shortcut, but what really happened, just to go over this part again, 20 is 2 multiplied by 10, right? Divided by 100 is 10 multiplied by 10. But this part here, 10, this is really, you can write it as 2 tenths times 10 tenths, and it is multiplied by 102 times 10, right? Which is 102 over 1 times 10 over 1. Now 10 divided by 10 is 1, so the 10's cancel, that's how they cancel. This part you could rearrange and say this is really 10 divided by 10. 10 divided by 10, they cancel, right? So you have what you have left after cancelling this, that's gone. After cancelling this part, which is gone, and you don't need the multiplication sign again, it's really 2 out of 1 times 102, which is 204. Alright? Just to look at that again. So that's part C. 204 are on the top level. Let's see what happened here now. Some of the spaces are reserved for monthly paying customers. The ratio of reserved spaces to non-reserved spaces is 5 to 7. I mean, calculate the number of non-reserved spaces. So here, reserved to non-reserved is 5 to 7. That means 5 reserved to every 7 non-reserved. Alright? So here, what you have, oh my, alright, yeah. So you have 5 reserved to 7 non-reserved. That's what happened. The number of non-reserved spaces is what? Well, The thing is, the total number of spaces is 1020, right? Now, 5 parts of this 1020 are reserved. 7 parts are non-reserved. So if you draw a line, I say all of this is the 1020. You cut this up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's reserved. And you cut this into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is non-reserved. Alright? We would need this part again. Alright. Now. Oh no. Yeah. Alright, back to this. Question. Since all of this is 1020, what is the measurement? What is the size of each part that you cut it up into? And how many parts are there? 5 plus 7 is what? It's 12. So 12 parts. Now, what's the size of each part? Well, it would be 1020 divided by 12. The size of each part. If you have 1020 and you cut it up into 12 equal parts, it's 1020 over 12, which is 1020 divided by 12 is what? 85. So each part is really 85. Alright? So that's what's going to happen in this case. Now, this is 85. From here to here is 85. And that's what happened with each of them. Alright. Now the thing is, if you need the number of non-reserved parking spaces. The number of parts again that are non-reserved is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts non-reserved. So in this case, 85 here, 85 here, and so on and so forth. But instead of adding 85 10 times, the non-reserved, the number of non-reserved parking spaces, just multiply 85 by 7. So 85 times 7 is what? 75, 35, bring down the 5, carry 3, 7, 8, 56, 57, 58, 59. So that would be 595 parts are non-reserved. So you get that? Alright, so here. That's that for now. Now, let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens in this case. Here, we have a table. Oh, by the way, this is something here. Yeah, we have a table here. Let's see what this thing is about. Let's copy the table first. Let's get the table by itself. We just put it back over here. Alright. Paste our table here. Now, this part of this question. This is part E. Oh, this was the working from before. Let's erase this part of the working that we had from before. Now, let's copy part E1 and put it over here. It says Michaela leave the car park at 18:30 hours and pays $9.25. Determine the earliest time she could have arrived at the car park. Interesting. Now, here, the earliest time. By the way, how many marks do they give for this? Alright, 1 mark. It is not a whole ton load of working. Here, she pays $9.25. Let's see. Under 30 minutes is free. Okay, more than 30 minutes to 2 hours, $2.25. Alright, so she certainly waited more than 30 minutes. Up to 2 hours, well, she paid more than this, so she stayed more than 2 hours. 2 to 4 hours, $5.50. Okay, she paid more than this, so she would have waited more than 4 hours. 4 to 8 hours. Okay. So she had passed the 4-hour mark, but she did not pass the 8-hour mark. Alright. They want the earliest time. How long did she stay? Did she stay for 4 hours or 8 hours? Or somewhere in between? Well, the earliest time means that the longest time from 18:30, this would be like 6:30 p.m., right? 18:30. The longest time before this that she would have waited, since she paid $9.25. Okay, means she stayed 8 hours. Now, what was 8 hours before 18:30 hours? So, for 8 hours, this would have been 18:30 hours. So, 1 hour would make it 17:30. 2 hours stay would make it 16:30, and so on before. Alright, so if you subtract 18:30 hours minus 10 hours, you say 0 minus 0 is 0, 3 minus 0 is 3, 8 minus 0 is, oh my, this is 8 I should subtract, not 10. I was thinking, I figure it out in my mind now that is 10, but subtracting the 10 is 8 hours I should subtract. So 0 minus 0 is 0, 3 minus 0 is 3, 8 minus 8 is 0, 1 minus 0 is 1. So it's 10:30 hours. So she would have gone there 10:30 hours, which is like 10:30 in the morning, and she left 6:30 in the evening. That's 18:30 hours. So the earliest time is 10:30 hours. Alright, let's see what happens here after this. Alright, how do you pronounce his name now? Let me assume the H is silent and say it's Dan Raj, or maybe Dan Ra, maybe the J is silent, but Dan Raj bought a weekly parking ticket for $40. That week he visited the car park 5 times. The length of time he parked his car on each occasion is even below. Show that Dan Raj saved $8.50 by buying the weekly ticket. Let's see something here. Let's copy it and paste it over here below the table so we can monitor what's going on in the table. Alright. So here we have it. Now, we need to show that Dan Raj saved $8.50. Let's see something here. Suppose Dan Raj didn't buy that $40 ticket. How much would he have paid? Even that he would have been paying for each parking session. For the 25 minutes, it's free. because once he stayed under 30 minutes, that's free. Alright, good. 7.5 hours. For the 7.5 hours, let's see something. Oh, you would have stayed more than 4 hours, but less than 8 hours. But you would still have to pay the $9.25. So it's $9.25. Alright, 11 hours now. 11 hours. He stayed more than 8 hours, less than 24 hours. He would have to pay $15. Alright, 15.00 for this. 8 3/4 hours now. Well, he stayed more than 8 hours here. So we'd have to pay the $15 again. So that's $15. Alright. He paid exactly. He stayed at 8 hours. Well, up to 8 hours he would have to pay $9.25 based on this part of the table. So he paid $9.25. Alright. How much would he have to pay in total? Let's see. $9.25 plus $15 plus $15 plus $9.25 again. Could use a calculator and just add them up. Alright. 5 and 5, 10. Bring down the 0, carry 1. We have 1, 2, 4, 1, 5. 5 here. Let's see. Oh, I didn't line up these numbers properly, you know. Let me line up the digits. Let me rewrite this because it's kind of messy the way I write it. Need to make some space. Oh, and by the way, it's money that I'm writing. I shouldn't have the 2 dots here. It's 1 dot. I was mixing it up with time. It's 1 dot I would have between these figures. Alright. Alright, so $9.25 plus $15 and 0 cents plus another $15 and 0 cents plus $9.25. Alright, so let me put a straight line here. So let's add these up now as they appear. We have 5 plus 5 is 10. Bring down the 0, carry 1. We have 2 plus 2 is 4 and 1, 5. So that's 5 here. Here we have 9 plus, well, let's see how this goes. 9 plus 5 is 14. Oh, 5 plus 5 is 10. 9 plus 9 is 18. 10 plus 18 is 28. Good. So that's 28. Bring down the 8. Carry 2. And then we say 1 and 1, 2. And 2, 4. So $48.50 he would have spent if he paid for each parking instead of buying the weekly ticket. He bought the weekly ticket for $40. So the savings would be $48.50 minus the $40 for the ticket. So 0, 5 minus 0 is 5, 8 minus 0 is 8, 4 minus 4 is 0. $8.50, right? So that is shown because they asked you to show that he saved the $8.50 by buying the weekly ticket. Alright, so that's that for question 1. I will see you in the next video.